Well, they've finally done it. Europe is imposing tariffs on Chinese imports, EVs in particular. So that means that Europe is very shortly going to be getting a massive price increase for EVs sold throughout Europe. But just made me think, what about the price elsewhere? Well, I thought I'd have a look at the Tesla Model 3. Well, one of the beauties of the Tesla website is that you can select any country you want and you can just look at the price of the vehicle in that particular country. So I thought it'd be an interesting exercise to see how much people are paying for their EVs elsewhere in the world. Because I drive a Tesla, I've chosen Tesla. It's also the easiest website because they do sell in virtually every single country in the world, whereas someone like BYD doesn't, Renault doesn't, not in EVs anyhow. So we're on the Tesla website and we're going to look at the price of cars. So we're going to start off first of all in America. Now, list price in America for the basic model, Model 3, so no fancy long range, no performance or anything. This is the basic model that you can buy. The list price of that is $33,900. That's your list price. But of course over there you have the IRA, the Inflation Reduction Act, which is a $7,500 discount, subsidy, tax break, call it what you want, off that price. And that's available to all EVs that are made predominantly in America. It doesn't have to be 100%, but it's like 80 or 90%. Now, Tesla have their own factory in Texas and in California, so they make the Model 3s in their own country. They also have their own battery factory, so they make their own battery, and they have battery deals with other companies around the world, obviously CATL and BYD, but they're Chinese, so if you use those, you're not going to get the full subsidy, or if any. However, LG, Panasonic, these are Japanese or South Korean countries, which are absolutely fine. Plus, of course, they make their own using components from there. So all in all, they qualify for the full $7,500 IRA. Now, in addition to that, many states offer their own subsidies. Some go up to $3,000, others just $1,000, others nothing at all. But it does seem across the range you can usually get a local state subsidy on top of the IRA for about $1,500 on average. The best state in America seems to be New Jersey. They have the highest grants and the highest income per capita, which means it is much more affordable to buy a Tesla Model 3 in New Jersey. And the worst is New Mexico, probably lower average salaries, less subsidies or grants, and that means it takes a higher percentage of the local's salary to be able to buy one. But if we put all together, take a £1,500 state grant on top, we get a total price that someone in America can just order. I was going to say walk into the showroom. You don't, obviously, but they can just go online, click on buy now, and the price they will pay is $24,990, which, if we use today's conversion, it's the 14th of June, that's £19,700, give or take a couple of quid. So, first interesting thing, in America, an average person in the street can go online and they can buy a Tesla Model 3 for £20,000. Yeah, okay, that really doesn't deserve anything else added to it. So let's have a look into Europe. Because this is the one that is going to be affected. Currently, these new tariffs don't come in until July, so we can look at the price now and then we can have a look at the price again in July. But as of right now, 14th of June, if you want the basic model, Model 3, it's €39,990. Now, France does have a subsidy, tax break, grant, call it what you will, to help you buy it. And it's aimed very much at the lower income earners. So, for example, pretty much everyone, from what I understand, will be able to get about €3,000. If your income per member does not exceed 15,400 euros, you can get an extra 3,000. So if there's two of you in the house and both of you earn under 15,000 euros, you'll be able to get the extra 3,000 euros off the price. Now they do have a limit, and that's a weight limit. They have a maximum weight of 2,400 kilograms. The Model 3, by the way, comes in about 1,800 kilos, so well under this. This is to stop, I suppose, your Hummers and things like that getting a grant. So if we take the starting price, 39,990, and we take off, let's say we're a low-income family, 7,000 euros, then we get a net price converted into sterling of £27,700. So, conclusion, in France, to buy the basic Model 3, assuming we're not ultra rich, we can order one online for £27,700. Now I'm going to leave the UK till last, so we can do a final sum up and a comparison. But let's go the opposite end of the world, let's go down to Australia. Now I'm doing this online, so some of the local things may be very different. However, list price isn't. So the list price of a Tesla Model 3 in Australia is 54,900 Australian dollars. It would seem to me that most of the states are dropping subsidies, although there are several states which still have them, somewhere around about 2,000 or 3,000 Australian dollars. So that will bring the net price down to £28,500. So we have a similarity with Europe there, about £28,000. In America, about £20,000. Let's go to the Far East, Singapore. They have something called Singapore dollar, and over there a basic Model 3 costs 69,300 Singapore dollars. Now they don't actually get any grants as such. What they do is they get a rebate off registration fees. You have to pay to register cars, and they get a grant, a rebate of up to 45% of the registration fee. That is capped at 15,000 Singapore dollars. And they also at the moment get a vehicle emission subsidy, which is about 25,000 Singapore dollars, and that represents about 14,000 Singapore dollars. So the net result of all of this, if you wanted to buy a Model 3 in Singapore, converted into sterling, you would pay £29,000. Now, if we go a little bit further away and we go over to China. China over there, they obviously use the yen. And China, you can buy a Tesla Model 3 for 231,900 yen. Now, subsidies. There's been a lot of talk about subsidies, but it seems that China has rather overdone the subsidies. And they're realising that actually people are buying these things whether or not they got subsidies, so it's actually cheaper for the government no longer to subsidise the EVs. So from what I can gather, most of the subsidies have come to an end. There are still advantages, but they're no longer financial. But in China, if we convert the yen into sterling, you can buy a Tesla Model 3 for £25,000. So I think we're seeing a bit of a trend here. We've got America 20,000, China 25,000, we've got Singapore 29, we've got Europe 28, we've got where else? Let's go up to Norway. Let's see what Norway is. Very strange currency over there, massive number of Norwegian kroners in the pound. But over there, Tesla Model 3 on the website is 324,990 kroner. Now normally in Norway they have no motor industry that I can discern, certainly not one of any size. So all the cars are imported, and they have a very, very high import duty. It is really high. However, for EVs currently, they are exempt from that. And import duties generally can account for about 25% of the total price of the car that you're buying. But here the price that's quoted is exempt from import duty, so this is effectively already discounted. So if we take that list price off the website, and presumably that's the price you actually pay on the bottom of the page, they do have a limit. That tax rebate is not available to cars over 500,000 krona, but this one isn't, 324. So if we convert that into sterling, we get a price of £23,900. So this again slotting right in the middle of sort of European prices, and we've got Australia a little bit less, we've got America a lot less. So where does that leave us in the UK? Well, go on the website today. The price of the bog standard Model 3 is £39,990. Yeah. Okay, I think that says it all. £40,000 in round figures. This is twice what the Americans will pay. Everyone can buy it. Just go online, order it. They can get one for around about £20,000. Most of Europe, 25,000. Australia, 25. It's in that area. Norway, in that area. And us, we're up here at £40,000. Now, some people say it's the conversion. No, it isn't. It's down to our taxes, our VAT and everything. Because in the UK, there are no subsidies whatsoever. None at all. If you buy an EV, list price, that's it. And people say, oh, you get a free road tax. No, 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 that's not for EVs. That's for all vehicles in the lowest category of the vehicle excise duty. So if you get one of these ultra minis with very, very ultra low emissions, they also pay no road tax. There are a lot of cars on the road today legally driving around and they don't pay road tax. EVs just slot into that. This is not a benefit for EVs. This is a benefit that the government has offered to convince everyone to get into either zero emission vehicles or very, very, very low emission vehicles. And it's available to ICE cars, to hybrids and to EVs, which qualify. The EVs automatically qualify because they produce zero. The hybrids and the petrol ones have to meet certain emission standards. So we get no benefit. We have the highest price from anywhere that I can see. The next nearest is Singapore, which is £30,000 round figures, and everyone else is in the 20 to 25,000, 27,000 pound range. So what is actually going on? We have some of the dearest cars in the whole world. I am in a future video going to look at non-EV cars, ICE cars, your normal petrols and hybrids, and we'll do a comparison of that to see whether it's us as a country just stitching everyone up when we buy a car or whether it's specifically EVs. But for now I'm going to leave you with that sobering thought. An American can buy a Model 3 for half the price that you or I can go into the showroom and pay. Thanks very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this, please click the like button. Also, if you'd like to see more, click subscribe. It's free to do so. And if you want to be notified when we release the next video, just click the notification bell icon. And massive, massive thank you to our Patreon members. You support the channel brilliantly. You enable us to go out and do all these things that we do. So thank you very much. I'm Dave.